Why, hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful night. It is me, that's right, Vinny, and I'm here because I thought it would be a good idea to just talk tonight. Usually on Monday nights we have the Let's Watch Some Wrestling. I'm still having some minor issues playing clips and not having it be so choppy, if you will. So that is still on a hiatus. Hopefully, I'll have that ready by Wrestle with This's Halloween episode. But until then, I just wanted to come on and say hey and talk to everybody about my weekend. Because if you guys have been following for the past month and a half, I have been I started doing the Madcraft mornings as well as the Mad Lab on Thursday nights and whatnot. And we have been doing a special um, season, I guess you can call it that, called the Road to Voltcon. And some of you guys were like, well, what was Voltcon? Well, Voltcon takes place in Indianapolis, and it's a Voltron convention. And besides Voltron, there's also a lot of stuff from pop culture, especially 80s, early 90s, and whatnot. And there's even newer stuff, newer fandoms and whatnot. I mean, everybody's welcome. So, but I was there as one of their guest artists. I had a booth set up, and you guys saw everything that I was making for, and I had everything on display. And it was rather enjoyable. The whole show was great. It was my third time there. It was their fourth year, my third, and it was excellent. It was an excellent time. I spent the time basically just rekindling friendships, old friendships, and basically was doing a lot of that. But I'm all sweaty and stuff. What I was going to do is talk a little bit on here about the intro and everything like that, and then I was going to divulge everything on my YouTube. And then once I divulge everything on the YouTube, we were going to have a fun little craft to do. And it was going to introduce the new season that is happening. I was just letting people know online that that's what I was doing. I'm very sweaty out here. It's very warm. It's funny because we had so much cold happening to us recently. I break out the paper towel. There we go. So, anywho, like I said, we were spending all that time, and it's funny because I'm such a procrastinator because I spent a good amount of time just telling myself I'll be ready on the day. And then when the day comes, or like the night before, I realize that I am not ready. I do not have enough stuff, or I need more time. I need more this. I need more that. I guess it's because I'm a Virgo, is what I've had people tell me. But being clench, I maintained. I got there. On the very first day, I left a little early to make sure that I wouldn't be late. And as luck would have it, there was a car accident on the way. Luckily, nobody was hurt. But it definitely slowed down traffic, I'll tell you that. So I ended up showing up about 10, 15 minutes late. My big grandiose plan for displaying stuff, because what I was doing besides the stuff that you saw, the crafting, and everything that I had done during the days and whatnot leading up to Voltcon, I also had gotten together a bunch of prints and whatnot, and was using those to sell instead of my paintings. I have people messaging me on Twitch. Very well. Anyway, I'm live, guys. Come on. So, oh, there's Master Hooks. It was. There was, like I said, there was a plethora of things going on. But yeah, as soon as I got in there, I am still sweaty. I'm sweating like crazy right now. So I ended up showing up about 10 or so minutes late. I get there. They have my booth there, and I'm located directly next to their gaming area. And they had 3 televisions set up. They had an old Xbox, original Xbox set up. They had a GameCube set up, and then they had like a PS4. PS4 was the coolest one out of them because they had like a Robotech, some of the older stuff there, but the PS4 had a virtual reality system, and the virtual reality system had the Voltron Legendary Defender like simulator. So you basically was simulating you either being Voltron or being one of the cats, one of the lions, piloting and stuff like that. So that was awesome. And every year they had it there. I've wanted to play it, and I was like, okay, this is going to be the year that I play it. But first I had to get set up. And getting set up required me to I started laying stuff out, and I have an idea in my head what I want it to look like, and then when I get there, I'm like, this is not going to work. No, this is going to work. So I'm just putting stuff out as I go. I'm like, I need to get all these prints on display. And originally, my idea was to have a 2 PVC pipes that go straight down and then across each other. So I'm going to take a fabric, fold it over at the top, pin them in place, and then have all of my prints in little sleeves pinned to the fabric. And those would be behind me on display, and I was going to have them about 9 feet up in the air, so they would be very visible, and with my name and logo up at the top that everybody could see too. So I would be very visible wherever you were at in the convention. They call it the Space Mall. It was in the Space Mall. So as I'm getting that set up, I'm realizing, well, I don't have PVC pipes. I ran out of time for that. I ran out of time for that whole setup. So I'm like, how am I going to make this work? I happen to have a couple extra tablecloths, plastic tablecloths. So, hey, Cushy baby, how you doing? Pick your elbow. This one. Oh, lick. You know I can't do that. I ain't got no Gene Simmons tongue. I'm gonna give it a shot. Nope, can't do it. I already hurt my neck just now. But I tried, so that deserves a little something. But yeah, so we get all set up. I just tried. Come on. I strained myself a lot. But welcome to the chat. I was just basically going over what happened this weekend at Voltcon, the good, the bad, and the what. But yeah, a lot of insanity was going on, you know, just basically in my head trying to get everything set up and I'm it's weird to say, it's kind of like I'm the black sheep, lead for daddy. Anyway, that popped in my head too. Getting a shirt, going to be working on a shirt this week. But so as I'm getting everything set up, you know, there's already people, the VIPs get in at 9:30, and I showed up at like 9:10. So yeah, I didn't really strain myself putting myself over like that. I kind of just went whoop, whoop. You know, like I said, you know, Mondo, he took that big old step to the right when I got him where I wanted him. You know, he didn't want to take the spot. You know, didn't want to take it. I think it's funny that I also I still want to point that out. Justin Kyle's match, my first match with Justin Kyle, my match with Mega Mondo, and my match with ZDP. And they all took off. They all have great careers right now in pro wrestling, especially ZDP. Like he really blew up. He even has his own, like, he had rappers doing his own music and stuff. How's it going, TJ? I'm talking about it right now, letting everybody know what happened, doing a quick rundown. I didn't know if you were on my Facebook or not. For this week, since it's fall vacation, I'm taking the mornings off so that I can spend more time with my son since it's his fall break as well. But I'll be on at nights, basically flip flopping. I'll be doing all my crazy crafts and everything at nights, and I'm getting ready to announce the new season that I'll be doing this month. But before I do that, like I said, we're talking about Voltcon. No, it's fine. I don't mind sidetracking. I like having conversations and stuff. Oh, you should have seen. Oh, Skull and Mortars had a ball because I became affiliate, and then I was able to figure out a way to bump stuff over. Well, not right now, I guess, because I don't think it's hooked up because I forgot to open up a computer. No, I'm all about love scrolls. Yeah, that's what happened. Yes, I accept. Because I have sound alerts, and Skull and Mortar loves triggering sound alerts. Oh my god, I'm at 40. And do you know how bad it slows down at level 40? I've been playing level 40 now for 4 weeks, and I'm at 9%. Like, it's just been we're going at the pace of turtles. But I told everybody, even told because even Master Hooks is like, I want to see it. I was like, as soon as I hit level 43, I'm immediately going to put it online just so I can have everybody watch me beat myself. I gotta figure out a new way to say that. I know it was. Well, the funny thing is, my 5-year-old's a genius. There was a glitch when I opened it up to check out my status, and the glitch. I was still at the time. I believe I was at level 14, and it showed that I leveled up. I know. I should have never stopped him. I should have just let him go. But when I went, I was like, oh, well, I'm at this level. And then my phone froze. So I was like, okay, well, I'll hit home again. Well, as soon as I hit home, all of a sudden I gained more XP and it leveled me up again. And then it was still frozen. So I was like, wait a minute. Sorry, a minor burp there. So I hit it again and it moved again. It kept giving me the reward for the placement I was in because I guess worldwide in the game I placed 87th worldwide in Indie Wrestler. So it kept, and it would freeze right after that. So you would hit home again and it would automatically give you those points again. And the glitch kept going. So I had to go to the bathroom. We were in the middle of dinner and Mini Vinny just immediately he saw what I had done the first couple times. So as the phone was sitting there, he was just constantly hitting those two buttons. He would hit home and he'd hit proceed, hit home, hit proceed, hit home, hit, and he kept doing it. And by the time I got back, I was at level 40, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he stopped, and I wasn't thinking about it. And I closed it down, brought it back up, still at level 40. And I was like, "This is awesome!" But now that I'm at level 40, it's you need to hit like 237,500 and da da da, and the most you get a match is like 50 points. So, oh yeah, it is amazing. So it's like you only get a maximum of like 50 points a match, and that's if you get 5 stars. So I am now just at the pace of a turtle and just trying. I'm hitting it. I'm handing off to my wife. I'm like, Lincoln, can you figure out a way to keep this going and get back on it for me? So it's been a struggle. I feel like it's probably going to be 2023 by the time I hit level 43. I'm like, why is this so? Because I'm one of those guys that don't like spending money I mean, yeah, I could easily drop $15 and then boom, I'm level 43 and then I'm online. I don't want to do that. I want to earn it, even though, we kind of cheated to get to 40. I know I was like, I should just let him keep going. But no, let me see over here real quick. I want to figure out something. Excuse me. And take a gander at this, just the top of this, because it's awesome. Because I want to talk more about that too. That's it. Oh, I'm still in camera shot. Everybody watching me hunched over. My underwear is probably sticking out because I'm staying a little relaxed today because it is fall break. I had a very hectic, very uh, eventful weekend. Oh, you're going to take your time, aren't you? I bet they're. I don't even know how to turn this on. That's how it goes. Well, anyway, I don't care. But yeah, yeah, it'd be like that, Master Hooks. Oh God, where were we? Yeah, so level 43. I don't even want like I'm still working on it, moving at the speed of turtles. Just it's taking so long, and it's just mind numbing at times. Yeah, continue the dashboard. Duh. Um, so there's that with AWR and everything. Thank you, and once again, thank you, Gary, for hopping on here. It's always good to hear from you. And yes, your shirt is being worked on this week. Should be done at the least by Friday. And we have all kinds of stuff that I'm announcing tonight besides the Twitch stream. But back to Voltcon. I was working on getting everything set up, but I was also doing things like meeting the neighbors and whatnot, and I was just doing different things to try to set up that would make me noticeable. What they were pointing out to me, though, was I was noticeable enough for the fact that if you looked at everybody else in the Space Mall, they all primarily are like just Voltron stuff. The Voltron prints, the Voltron artworks, pins, patches, stickers, and everything. And then you come to my table, and I have this. I'll get to you in a second. I have this. I have this. And this, like this is what is full of my table. So people were like, oh, saw Zodiac at war. I thought Carter was with him. Yeah, Skullmore, how's it going? I was actually talking about how you like to every now and then play a sound that freaks me out and makes me jump, but because my other computer crashed, I currently don't have that available. Huh? Yeah, no. You're doing that? That's silly. Why would I do that? Ooh, I can ban words like Shazbot. Oh no. That's terrible. I'm sorry, Skull. Or like literal. Like, did somebody actually like throw poop at a fan? Because I've seen it on Mythbusters. Just saying. But so we're getting everything set up, and so I had the bright idea to take this plastic tablecloth cover and stick it up on the wall, and then take the prints, put them into sleeves, and sticker them onto the curtain. Or it's not a curtain; it's a tablecloth, but I use it as a curtain. So it's like, okay, cool, this will work. This is genius. I'm a genius. Ha ha ha. Because I at least play one on TV. Oh, Gary ran away. I knew it, Gary. Can't stay for the long run, Gary. Yes. So I'm getting that done, getting all that set up and stuff. I already got people going through everything, and once again, here's some of the, I'm not just gonna go just positives, just negatives, and just WTFs. I'm going to touch on all of them simultaneously as I go through, especially with one of the things that was like it took like I really wasn't even completely fully set up till about 11 o'clock. And right there, I just had Kevin hit me up. Kevin is actually one of the people that run Voltcon. He is a great person, and I'm letting him know that I'm talking about him right now. um, good to hear. Um, so you'll probably be announcing it tonight on your on Skull and Mortar on twitch.tv/Skull and Mortar. Huh? Told you, I always plug Skull and Mortar. He's a good friend of mine. Oh, ye card subject to change. Ain't that the truth? So yeah, I'm finally all set up, and usually, and the funny thing is, the Saturday is the longer of the days, but Sunday is the busier of the days. See, Saturday is from 10 to 6. You get a lot of people that will be walking around, looking over everything and stuff. But basically, what they're doing is they're making mental notes of what they want to get, so that when Sunday hits, they peel out and they just start buy, 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 and they're out the door. So, because the main thing, all of the really important like announcements, interviews, questions, seminars take place on a Saturday. So when you're a vendor, you basically you're just sitting at your table, and mingling with other vendors until uh, little breaks in between the seminars and the questionnaires and the announcements and whatnot. Which they had a really awesome announcement that I pretty much kind of heard because I was against the back wall. Has it messed up? That's always good. It's always good to trade up, Skull and Mortar. But and I'm lit against it, and you're hearing. I mean, and the bass is so big, the whole wall is shaking, and you're hearing people popping, just going nuts. And I'm like, they're like, wonder what they're doing. I was like, they said there's a special announcement, and it was such a special announcement that people had to check their phones at the door, like put them in little sleeves with names and whatnot. And so it's like they don't even want cameras or cell phones in the room as they're releasing this stuff. So the first thing that pops in my head is live action Voltron. It's got to be it. That's what it's got to be, because there's already been talks about how there's been like kind of like a green light going on for live action Voltron and whatnot, and we know I guess somebody else leaked the information out that Amazon Prime has given the green light to a live action Voltron. So that's exciting news. Because I'm a Voltron fan. I mean, that's why I'm there. Even though a lot of my stuff there wasn't full on Voltron, I myself am a Voltron fan, which is why I feel I belong. Which I also just had the guy in charge of the Voltcon tell me. He said, "You're family now." Because that's one of the other cool things that happened towards the end of the night. But or at the end of the weekend, I'll get into that in a second. So what else has happened was, as we're sitting there and stuff, I have a lot of people like at 11 o'clock. I made somebody came in and made their first purchase at my booth, and it made me really excited. They got a pair of goggles that I had done, and they were my MC goggles that I made, where they're just this nice jet black goggles that had some spikes on it, and then the lenses were actually balled out because it was those old school metal mesh microphone heads is what I had on the fronts of them. So they saw that, and they told me that they're a singer and stuff, and they would love to have those. And I just said, give me a price. And that's what I do at my table a lot. A lot of times I don't price my own stuff. I want to know what they believe is a good value, because they're the ones that want it. And I mean, yeah, every now and then you'll have a person grab like a nice grandiose piece, and they're like, "Oh, you selling books." Those are the yard sailors, as I call them, the yard sale shoppers. But there's some people that I know, because I'll talk about these roommates in a second, because I know some people don't see a lot of really cool stuff, and they just don't want to talk about it because they're like, I know I can't afford stuff like that, so they don't even try. But I would rather my stuff, if they like it, be on display in their homes than in a box in storage, waiting to be sold to somebody else, waiting for the right price, if you will. Its only value is what the person wants to spend on it. You can have a card and you can have an item and say this is $500. You think it is, but if nobody wants to pay $500 for it, it's not $500. Its only value is what somebody's willing to give you for it. So that's why a lot of times I say I don't have price tags on my stuff, because I want to know what somebody finds the value in it. And they gave me the price. I was like, very well. And they looked at something else. Can I have a price? I was like, well, what do you want for this? I said, give me a price. And they did. And I was like, very well. And they were excited. And I was like, okay, cool. It's 11 o'clock. I'm already making sales. And then it just kind of slowed down. Like immensely. Everything dropped. And I will say that was one of the kind of downsides to Voltcon this year, was that I think somebody was saying it was our record. It was the record low attendance. Last year was the record high attendance, and this year was our record low attendance for Voltcon. And it's understandable. There's been a lot of stuff going. We even had a brand new venue that we went into. We went to the Wyndham West. The Wyndham West is actually known for having a lot of popular conventions, but with it being the first time of Voltcon being there, maybe some people are apprehensive about coming and whatnot, and especially just with how the world is right now. It's hard to just get out and go do fun things and stuff. So, now here's one of the other things that I interjected on. While I was sitting there, I think I was texting my wife at the time. And not only was I texting my wife, there was another person who was a vendor or helping out a vendor was going through my box. And actually one of my big sells was the swag box. You guys know the swag box because every time you come on, you say something, you get your name in a hat. At the end of the week, I pull out that name, I grab a big old chunk, throw it in an envelope, and I send it to you. I've actually added some more stickers from Voltcon into the box, so that's fun. If we didn't have no problem. The war show was only one day, and I was there 2 days. I'm just kidding, but no. So we were. I was there. This young lady went through the entire box. It's more than just stickers too. There's also patches. There's decals. There's lapel pins. The Shojin manga cover. Exactly. Might as well come to Wrestle Arts, Master Hooks. All that stuff was there. And so as she's going through it, I started to hear this conversation going when I was texting my wife. And it seemed like a disgruntled vendor. And he had something to say. And I feel like it was being directed to me, because when I looked around, I was the only person that had that style of artwork. And what he was basically saying was, I feel that if you have to use AI to make some of your artwork, you shouldn't even be here. You're not even considered a real artist in my eyes, and just started blah, 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 blahing. It's a computer that's doing it. You're just saying, hey, paint something. And then it does it, and it makes the art. And then you go, oh, this is mine. So they said it's basically like you are commissioning for free artwork that you're going to consider your own. Whatever. But it was kind of irking me. And I couldn't see exactly who it was, because where the conversation was taking place, it was like 2 rows down. There was probably about 3 or 4 people there having a conversation. The one person was being kind of boisterous about it. But instead of like trying to poke around and stuff, because it's exactly in the line of sight where the lady was going through her stickers. And I didn't want to put her off by being like, oh, excuse me. So all I did was I calmly stood up. And I said, excuse me, feel free to keep looking. I was like, I trust you. I know you're not going to steal anything. And I just calmly walked over to that area, and I was like, somebody was talking about AI, selling AI stuff. Thank you very much, Master Hooks. I'm like, who's got a problem with somebody selling off AI prints and whatnot? And nobody's saying anything. They're all staring at me, but nobody's saying anything. And I was like, I'll tell you right now. I was like, that's not just any AI. See, I'm Vinny Rowell. I'm a mad scientist. And I happen to have 3 very well-educated and obedient minions. I said, I have Igor, I have Igor, and I have Roji. Now, Igor, and that's how I did it. Now, Igor, yes, every now and then I do a little bit of I get a little less family friendly, especially when I have somebody picking on me or my friends. I said, Igor is mostly robotic, computer chips and whatnot. I just installed a new intelligence system into Igor because I wanted him to start thinking for himself some more. And one of the ways of experimenting is robots normally don't dream. You know that one, do robots dream of electric sheep? So when Igor would shut down for the night to recharge, I would hook up to his data frame and I would give him something to dream about to see if it actually works when he is in his setup, because he still has a little bit of power and data moving while he's in his recharge mode. So I would just basically, it's kind of like whispering into somebody's ear that's slowly going to sleep to see if the lucidity will kick in and give them some kind of a dream. So this is what I do with Igor. And then in the morning, when he is fully recharged and rebooted and going around, I ask Igor if he had any actual dreams that night. And if he did, he would print them out. And if I liked it, I would mass produce it and make as much money off of it as possible. But within that, and they're like, why are you telling us a story? I was like, because you need a story. Because for the fact that while you think that it's cheating, while you think that it's non-artistic, I said, what is the brain to a brush and a canvas? You have a thought. You translate that thought to your muscles, which your muscles then move around as they hold a paintbrush or a pencil or a crown or whatever it is that then will turn this thought in your head that runs through your body to the tips of your fingers out onto the canvas to be the image that you were thinking of. I said, the only different thing is you're using different pieces. Now, you have a thought in your head of what you want. You send that through your arms, down into your wrist, to your fingertips, to which instead of a paintbrush, you have a keypad or a keyboard or anything like that. And you do your artwork there as you type it in, and then you let the algorithm, the AI, take control and see exactly what has come about. There's been times when I've painted stuff and I didn't like the way it was, and so I immediately start over and paint again. And that's the exact same thing with the AI. You give it the information, it does its moment where it paints and everything like that, and it says, is this what you like? If you don't, you can say no, let's start over. If you do, then there's your painting. So by telling me that I have no artistic, what is it? I don't remember the term, but artistic endeavors or our artistic intelligence or anything like that, because I would rather have a robot do my stuff. It's not that I would rather have a robot do my stuff. I said, feel free to walk over to my table. You'll see actual hand paintings. You'll see digital art that I've done on my computer. You'll see sculptures and just about everything. I was like, I love all forms of art. I appreciate all forms of art. So why go out of your way just because you don't like it? Doesn't mean you have to convince other people not to like it. And this guy seemed to be going out of his way to get people to agree with him. Yes, art is art. And that's where I also point out, an art brings a reaction, whether it be a positive reaction or a negative reaction. And I can tell you this, that is art, because one of you guys had a reaction to it. And I said, and even though you won't stand up and tell me, by you voicing your opinion and distaste in it, lets me know that yes, it is art. Good day to you all. And I just, walked back over, sat down, and just continued going. And I actually had like 2 or 3 people like, oh my God, you laid them out. And I was like, yes, I will dress people down if they're making fun of me and my art. I said, good day. But so that was that. Made a couple more sales throughout, and then 6 o'clock came. I went home, spent time with the family. Let's do it again. New day. And the new day was starting off okay. I showed up right at 9:30, because 9:30, even though we open up at 10, 9:30 is right when the VIPs and volunteers get to walk through the Space Mall to see if there's anything they want to purchase. And so we started off, and the VIPs came through, once again, started to do better. As a matter of fact, if you remember those Voltron books that I had, that I put the images on, I finished all 5. of the Lions. Then I did Zarkon, and then while I was there, I did a second Zarkon. I did a what's the name again? Yes, I did a Koran, mustache and sideburns, and then I did a Hagar. So I was, as a matter of fact, on the first day, I was so tired that I was doing artwork on the comics and the books to just stay awake because I was just drifting off. So I'm sitting there painting, I'm sitting there drawing, coloring, using markers, all that stuff, and then arguing with people over saying that I don't know what artwork is. So second day came around, and I was just talking to a good friend of mine. I did not ask him permission for his name, so I will not mention it. But he's one of the people that was in charge of the gaming area, which is right next to me. And as we talked and stuff, he made a comment of how he had to get everything jump started before the show. I said, yes, I can't wait because today was the day. I was going to find a little bit of time. Who cares what anyone thinks? Well, I cared enough to go and dress him down and make him look like a fool. So there you have it. I'm a thirsty boy. I get there, I go and sit down. He goes there and looks around and realizes his virtual reality system is gone. His PS4 like virtual wands, the eye that watches your movements, one of the virtual headsets, and one of the controllers for the PS4. All of them gone. All of them missing. We're scrambling around. We're looking under stuff, and we're asking personnel and everything like that. Nobody knows where. The doors supposedly were supposed to have been locked when we left for that night, so it became a security issue. And it became a big issue actually because it was a minimum, I believe, resale value for any of that was just over $500 for what he had. And the reason was because he had a fully customized PS4 controller made specifically for him and his hands. So now there's conversations going on with management, conversations going on with security, conversations going on with police, conversations going on with lawyers. Because my friend, he's a really good namaste guy, but at the same time, if you cross him, he's a bulldog. And he'll bite down and never let go, especially if you do anything that threatens him, his family, and his family's future or well-being, and that's one of them. The best part though is that there was a happy ending to that. While he's talking to one of the police officers, he was mentioning. He mentioned to me, but as he was talking to police officers, before the police officers, he was talking to me, and he said, "Well, whoever stole this doesn't know that the controller that he had specifically made for his hands had a tile in it." Now, if you guys don't know what a tile is the same thing as an AirTag. It is basically a GPS communicator. And when it gets activated and stuff, when the controller gets turned on or the system gets turned on, the controller will send out its GPS coordinates. And as he was talking to the police officer, he got a ping on his phone telling him where his controller was. And the cops made their way to it, found out it was at a pawn shop. They found his controller there, but I believe they didn't. I don't remember how the rest of the story goes on that end, but they found it at the pawn shop. The pawn shop had the person's name and information who sold it to them, and just about a little over an hour ago, I got a photo from him through text holding his controller and his other stuff, saying they're home safe, and I was like, oh, good. So that ended up being a happy ending there. So that was extremely awesome to find out. So that was the WTH moment. I'm not even gonna say F, but But then things started picking up more with there. I met, and see, this is why I don't put a price on my stuff. I met these two people, roommates, really cool people, and they had spent the whole day. They would walk over and they were staring, and what they were staring at was they were staring at the six-way Jason Voorhees mask that had the six versions of Friday the 13th on there, because technically it was five Jasons and Roy. Uh, and then they were also staring at Dunn. And you guys remember Dunn? Dunn was the robot that scared the poop out of me while I was putting them together. And I finally just I struck up the conversation with them, and I was like, now, with all this out of the way, what can I do to make you guys happy today? They said, excuse me. I was like, you've been staring really hard at Dunn the robot. You've been staring really hard at this Jason mask. I can tell that you guys want them. What do I have to do to make you guys go home happy with these in your possession? And they're like, well, I know your stuff is probably really expensive. I've seen, the time it takes to make it, this, that, and the other. And I was like, throw a price out. Talk to me. And they did. And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was seeing so much for this one and so much for this one, but I also understand that you guys have some kind of a connection to them because I saw the way you look down. And I'll agree. And I said, that's more than enough because I'll be happy and you guys will be even more happy. So I made the deal with them. The one really wanted this, but the roommate was like, no, I deal with enough demons. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, they made off. So Dunn found a new home, and so did the Jason Mass. They found a new home, and then towards the end, I even because I was still like, yeah, sales are kind of down. Then I kind of found out that I was actually one of the top sellers of the weekend because I had some people that did. I mean, it was a very low attendance this year, but the even though it was a low attendance overall, the core was there, the diehards, and we even had people there for their first time. So it's a good trade. It's kind of like, and I know I'm going to talk about something some people don't care about, juggalos. Violent J was asked, would you trade 100 juggalos for 1,000 mainstream fans? And he said, I wouldn't trade 100 juggalos for a million mainstream fans because the juggalos are their core. Those are the ones. Those are priceless because they're faithful and they're just good-natured people that live and breathe, the fandom. And they were there. So that was the good thing. All of them were there, and they all showed their support, and they all came, and they did what they did, and it was awesome. I sold probably 6, 7 of those Voltron books. And then right at the end, my friend, he came, he purchased the Shiro goggles, so the Black Paladin goggles sold. He purchased the Pikachu video cassette. So that was awesome. Another personnel came up, stopped me as I was pushing the bus cart to my hearse to leave and said, I haven't purchased anything off you yet. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Purchased the She-Man thing cover art for the Deadpool's Secret Wars. Purchased a small Deadpool painting I had done. And a Howard the Duck. My first ever Howard the Duck I did. I did kind of like a marker drawing and then recolored it and put some paint on it and bought that off me as well. So, oh, the Good Brothers are back too, huh? Okay. So I ended up, I was still, I didn't hit my goal. I didn't even half my goal, but I was still happy with what I did because I made so many different connections with old and new vendors. And I met so many new fans that can't wait for next year. And not only that, as I was leaving, I talked to the man in charge, one of the heads of Voltcon. He'd actually said to me, we would like to have you start coming to our meetings. And that was awesome because he made a joking comment earlier today. He goes, I see some of your stuff and you're kind of dark. Because he believes in hockey masks and everything. I deal a lot with horror. The horror is my thing. I love Voltron. I love horror. And he said, yeah, it's pretty dark. But, my pins, I did the Pala pins. They did very successful. And the the silent auction. People did bid on them, and it went to prolonging Voltcon as well as Cat's Haven, which was their choice charity. So that's awesome. As well as I may be getting an invite to Starbase Indy this year. But the rough part is it is during Thanksgiving weekend, so I don't know if I want to do that. I probably want to spend more time with family. Maybe if it was a one-day thing or a half day, I might go, but not a full weekend, not on Thanksgiving weekend. But not only that, I also had another person asking about sponsoring me for a table for a Fanboy Expo, so that's kind of cool too. So I would love for my artwork to go and reach and hit convention status to where I can travel and sell my stuff. Because all my stuff are one of a kind. So like the only stuff that's ever mass produced are my prints. But if you guys saw it on my Facebook, I actually did I did 2 more comic book covers. I did another Deadpool comic book cover where it was Deadpool as the red paladin lion. So it was the red lion's face, but then it had like the Deadpool dark eyes, and right by it said meow, I'm a Thundercat. So that was kind of fun. Thank you again for the emote, Master Hooks. I appreciate that. And then I did another one where it was the no, I left it in the other room. It was Contest of Champions. There was a minor arc in the back that was dealing with the story of Guillotine. So I took the symbol, the logo of Guillotine that's on the sword, put that on the cover. So that was really cool too. And then I did the Blue Lion, which I actually have right over here. I first did it in marker and then went over it in paint. Did I put them? No, they're not where I thought they'd be. Dang it. Anyway. So here we go. Here is the Blue Lion. I don't know if you guys see it. Ooh, paint still smells fresh. It's been a day. Huh. So yeah, I got more paintings done and everything like that. And like I said, I have stuff that I didn't sell. The good news is the stuff that I didn't sell, you're going to now be seeing on Ratlock's Toy Box. That's right. I'm going to be opening up my Etsy store and having them available there. So if you ever want one, you just go to my page, my Etsy shop. You can purchase it there, and I'll get it mailed out to you. As well as try to see this or not. But I wanted to do something special. Science does roll. But so here it is. And this, it's a giant canvas that was created back in 1972. I was planning on painting something on it. I never did. But what I did was I had it out and about, and I said, whether you were a vendor, a congoer, a special guest, or any of that, please grab a marker, put something on here. And they did. So that made me very happy. There's Voltron references, there's different artists, renderings, there's Koran, Princess Allura, there's a bunch of Pidges. Pidge was probably the most popular of the Voltron series right now, especially in that group. And yeah, so I have more over here. I had a person trace their Pidge blaster, and then Archie. Dang it, Archie! Archie drew over top of it with Leonardo Ninja Turtle. But I love some of these quotes, and then Beffert saws down the bottom. You can't see it, but it's a Galarin quote meaning forward. But it also, in a different way, in a warrior term, it means to stab directly in front of you for thrusting your sword. But they also used it as the term just forward, onward, keep going forward. So it's fun. So what I'm going to do is I put outlines around all these guys, and where the blank spots are, I'm going to be doing kind of like a galaxy paint job. some blues, some blacks, some purples, and then I'll put in some yellows, some whites, and some light green, like stars and whatnot throughout it. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have it on display at the next Voltcon. But yeah, all in all, Voltcon was a great experience. Always was. You always have some good and some bad going on at any kind of convention. But all in all, I would do it again, and I cannot wait for can't wait for next year. Voltcon 2023 is going to be simply amazing. And so, without all that out of the way, that's it for that. But I thought what would be cool is a couple announcements. First off, the new season on my Twitch channel, which I'll be starting tomorrow night, I believe, after I get all of my crafting supplies and stuff brought in and reorganized. And it's Halloween season. So what better way of doing it than having a good old special theme? That's right. If you heard the song Girls, 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 well, I'm not doing that. It's going to be masks, masks, masks. That's right. For my builds, my crafting, all throughout, up until probably November 2nd, Dia de los Muertos, I'm going to be doing nothing but masks, mask conversions, Jason masks, hockey masks, and wolf masks, pumpkin masks, skull masks, any of those. We're going to be rolling the dice, and we're going to be choosing what masks I'm going to be working with, whether I'm going to be old typo whether it be doing a hockey mask mod or accenting a skull mask, maybe making it look creepier and whatnot. But I thought, oh yeah, Skull and Mortar, he's streaming right now, so I'm going to be getting over there to him, even though he said it'd be 9:30, but it's 9:22. He got on 8 minutes early. Dang it, Skull. So I have that's going to be happening tomorrow. Though it's not going to be exactly a mask, but I'm going to be making something that people will like. As a matter of fact, no, I'm going to do it on YouTube. I'm going to be doing it on YouTube as I'm watching Skull and Mortar. So if you want to have two different tabs going on, there you go. So I'm getting ready to jump on YouTube for that. But the other announcement I want to do is that I am now in full-on talks, and we're getting the green light. ZPW is coming back, whether it's November or December. I'm going to be talking with the new financial backer for that. But not only am I going to be in Franklin, I'm also going to be going up north. That's right. We're going to be having ZPW up around northern Indianapolis area. So that's going to be awesome. Brand new venue there and some new ventures. I can't wait. I hope you have enjoyed this stream. I'm going to give myself probably about 15 minutes, and then I'll be going live on my YouTube channel. That's right, youtube.com/TheBadassNetwork. So I will see you then. But until then, just remember, this wasn't just me having fun talking to you guys about Voltcon and being excited about next year's Voltcon. No, this was about science.